let's name the following organic compounds. Then what are the steps that you need to follow while naming organic compounds? Then the first step is to recognize the functional group of that organic compound. Then you select the longest continuous carbon chain as the parent chain. So let's consider the following compounds on the board. What is the functional group of the following compounds? That is nitrogen. Then nitrogen is the functional group of amine. Nitrogen is the functional group of amine. Then you can name the following compounds in two ways. I'm going to teach you the two methods. So let's start with the first one. Now you select the side with the longest continuous carbon chain as the parent chain. So let's look at this side. We have one carbon atom. Then at this side we have one carbon atom. So since you have one carbon atoms at both sides, so you can select any side. So I'm going to select this side with the functional group as my parent chain. Then you consider this one to be a constituent. Then this is CH3. Then we should not forget that CH3 is known as methyl. Then the substituent methyl attached to nitrogen. So what are you going to call it? You call it N-methyl. Then N-methyl what? When you have one carbon atom from the parent chain, so you are going to call it methane. When you have one carbon atom in the parent chain, you call it methane. Then when you have two carbon atoms, you call it ethane. So since we have one carbon atom with the functional group, so we call it methane. So this will be methane what? Methane amine. Methane amine. That is the first name. Then the second name, when you look at the two sides, you have the same substituents. So you can name the two substituents together. Then you call this one methyl. You call this one methyl. Then how many methyl do we have? We have two. When you have two methyl, you call it dimethyl. Then dimethyl what? Amine. Dimethyl amine. Then let's name number two. Let's move to number two. Then you can see that we have one carbon at this side, one carbon here, then one carbon atom attached to the left hand side. Then you can pick any side. You can pick any side. So you pick that side together with the functional group, with this nitrogen as the parent chain. Then you consider this CH3 and CH3 to be substituents. So you have two substituents, the same substituent, that is methyl. So the first metal attached to nitrogen, so that will be N, then the second metal attached to nitrogen, that is N. Then how many methyls together? That is two. You call it dimethyl. Then dimethyl what? Dimethyl what? You can see that the functional group attached to one carbon atom. So we are picking this carbon atom with this functional group as the parent chain. So when you have one carbon atom, you call it methane. So that will be methane amine. Methane amine. That is the first name. So let's use the second method. Then you can see that the same substituent attached to what? To nitrogen. Then methyl. So we are going to call it trimethyl. Then tri means three. So we have three methyl group attached to nitrogen. So trimethyl amine. Trimethyl amine. That is another name for that. Then let's take the third one. So this one is different because we have two carbon atoms at this side. We select the side with what? More carbon atoms. So we have two carbon atoms at this side. So we are going to pick these two carbon atoms with the functional group. We are going to pick it together with the functional group as the parent chain. So we consider this one to be a substituent. Then CH3 is methyl. So we call it N-methyl. N-methyl because this methyl attached to nitrogen directly. N-methyl. Then don't forget that when two carbon atoms attach to the functional group, you call it ethane. When you add two carbon atoms, you call it ethane. So that would be ethane what? then Amine, ethan, Amine. So that is the name for the third one. Please don't forget to like, share, and